Hi there, I'm Chihiro from Japan. Welcome back to the program. Let's learn a life lesson from a story together. When I ask people about their problems, one thing that often comes up is a relationship issue. You might be bothered by old friends with whom you're stuck in a bad relationship, or someone close to you who has an overbearing attitude. There is no end to the problems we face in our relationships. Today, let's discuss the human relationships that distress us all. As one's mind grows, relationships naturally change. You can empathize and understand each other when you are with people who are like you. Therefore, when you spend time with people who are not on the same wavelength, your emotions become distorted. People cannot live alone, not to mention we must cherish our relationships. However, do we really need to push ourselves to the limit in order to fit in with others? Thanks for subscribing to my channel. Let's get started then. As we are old friends, we should take good care of each other. Of course, that's right. But do you need to keep that friendship in your current situation? When you have known each other for a long time, both of you will naturally go through the change in your environment. That also changes the state of your mind, and you won't be able to remain the same as the time the two of you first met. But if you say, "We must stay connected," as if you're forced to keep the relationship, is the friendship really necessary for you now? Aren't you just forcing yourself to be in tune with your friend? If you're forcing yourself to stay with someone, the time you spend with that person and the money you spend there will be wasted, and you'll come home feeling a little bit tired. You don't need to keep a relationship that doesn't benefit you. Having that kind of relationship is different from cherishing people around you. Don't we all want to spend time with someone who can make us laugh from the bottom of our hearts, have a great time, learn new things, feel refreshed, and experience positive emotions? Listening to someone who's always negative and complaining about others can be really disheartening. I prefer spending time with people who inspire me to think positively and give me the courage to take the next step forward. If you feel tired after talking with someone, you don't need to make time to see them. If you and your friend are both raising small children and have families, you may have fewer opportunities to see each other. You will likely lose contact with each other. However, if you and your friend mutually influence each other in a positive way, you will still be connected somewhere. When you meet again someday, I think you will be able to meet naturally. Those kind of people are necessary for you. In that case, your environment and friends are very important. I think it's very difficult to leave people you have known for a long time, and it takes a lot of courage. However, To make yourself happy, why don't you try to organize your surroundings, even if it is only for a little while? If you're in a relationship where you can easily separate from the other person, you can resolve the situation by coming to terms with your feelings. However, if you're in a situation where you can't distance yourself from the other person, such as with coworkers or family members, it can be difficult. If there's someone you don't know how to deal with, perhaps it's someone who takes a high-handed attitude towards you. It can be difficult to know how to handle such a person. When you're unable to separate from the other person easily, it means that they're in a close relationship with you. Is there a good way to deal with such a person? Yes, there is. I'll give you some tips. I recommend you seek advice from that person. People with an overbearing attitude feel proud and appreciated when asked for advice. As a result, they have less reason to attack other people. But this may not be the fundamental solution. From here, for those who haven't satisfied with my answer, I will go one step further and talk about it. We always have problems in our relationships. However, even when we're in a difficult situation, changing the way of thinking or perceiving the situation can make a difference. And when the time comes, you can break up the relationship that you thought you could never leave. You may even find that the people you wanted to leave were necessary for your personal growth. Now, some of you may be thinking, even if asking for advice will stop the attacks on me, it won't make me feel better. That's right. The bad state of a relationship is when you're holding back. Since our patience has a limit, our anger will explode when it reaches a certain level. So, you shouldn't endure it. You need to forgive other people. You may say that you're struggling because you can't absolve. Then, there is only one thing you can do. If you can't overlook other people's attitudes, it's better to stay away from them. Yes, leave the relationship. But that's a last resort. First of all, try to forgive instead of endure. You don't have to grow or improve yourself to be patient. Anyone can hold back and be patient, but letting go of negative feelings is not easy. You need to accept other people, accept yourself, and accept what has happened. Forgiveness requires a broad mind. Deciding to absolve someone is not easy. That's why you feel, I can't overlook how the person treated me, but I don't want to leave. We call that state holding back. You can't forgive someone, but you can't leave the person either. Then you have no choice but to endure. This state of enduring makes you think that you're a victim. But it's not true. As a result of not deciding whether to forgive or to leave someone, you end up holding back. You shouldn't forget it. Therefore, you can say that people who suffer from complicated relationships are usually the ones who haven't decided to forgive or to leave. If we dig deeper into the fundamentals, it comes down to forgiveness or separation. But since they can't go either way, they are struggling. Even if we try to avoid these two choices and think about them in a complicated way, in the end, we will eventually conclude that we must either forgive or leave. The ability to accept is necessary, but it is difficult for us to do so. The destination is always either to forgive or to leave. When we don't make this decision, we endure or worry. Therefore, it is very important to choose either the effort to forgive or the decision to leave. In the end, the answer is either of these two. We need to think about it carefully, be honest with our hearts, and make a decision. Hopefully this video is helpful to you. Well, that's about it for today's episode. How was it? I hope your life shines even brighter. Let's talk about life, time, Buddhism, love, and many other things together in the following episode. Please subscribe to our channel. Have a great time and keep on smiling. Thank you for listening till the end. See you soon.